everybody ready? Yeah, awesome. Well, I'd say our first 10:30 workshop was a success. So with this, we have little ones, which will be fine. So just don't mind the interruptions. I am recording this right now too, so you guys should all get that emailed to you. We'll send you the slides and the audio, barring there's not technical difficulties, which it's Monday. So we've had a few of those already, and it's not even noon. Did everybody get their workshop cards stamped so that they get credit for coming? Okay. No? Okay, make sure before you guys leave, you see one of the girls and you get your workshop card stamped to show you're here. The reason why you guys want to get these stamped for credit is those of you that are chiropractic patients, you get a discount on your wellness care here in our office. And then everybody else, after you come to a few, we give you guys a nice little gift. So we just like to reward you guys for continuing your education and really making positive changes with your lifestyle. So some of you, I know your cards are like stamped all the way down, which is, I love that. So this also, too, some of you guys have old class cards before we implemented the 10:30 and the 6:30. So those of you that have these cards, if you want to take your pen and write that all classes are at 10:30 and 6:30. So due to popular demand, who needs one of these cards? Take one down, pass them around. And that way you guys can schedule and sign up for all the classes, invite your friends. I'm going to pass around the workshop for next month's sign-up sheet. You can do one of two things. You can sign up on here, and Stacy will input you on the register, or you can actually, when you just get the email, just click and register, which, Marilyn, I know you do, which is easy. So I'll pass that around. Hopefully you all have pens. And today is going to be really fun. We're going to go over a lot of stuff with healing your gut. Obviously, that's the talk for today. And if you guys have questions, just kind of jot them down next to your notes. More than likely I'll answer, but if I don't, ask at the end. Sound good? Okay, cool. And of course, we're going to play with lots of oils, which is fun. So if anybody is in the midst of their Happy Healthy program, just smell them, don't touch them. Okay, so how many of you guys know somebody or you yourself have some sort of digestive related issue? Pretty much everybody's hand, okay? So according to the NIH, about 60 to 70 million people are affected by diseases related to their digestive system. And you guys are going to learn why that's not a good thing. So in 2010, which is almost now a decade ago, 21.7 million hospitalizations occurred due to GI-related issues, okay? So in the grand scheme of talking about taxes and what hospitals cost and all that stuff, it's just not conducive for our population. The other thing is that there's a substantial amount of deaths associated with digestive issues. And the reason why we'll talk about that a lot in depth today is that 80 to 90% of your immune system lives in your digestive tract. So if you've got digestive related issues, what's happening to your immune system? And the answer is the exact same thing. And so if your immune system's compromised, we know that that is not a long-term success plan for optimal health. Okay. Here's a little tidbit. Western diet and lifestyle is linked to a growing number of Americans that are affected by digestive disease. The health of your digestive system has a lot to do with your lifestyle, right? Amen to that? Okay. And it's determined by the food that we eat, the amount of exercise we get, and the stress level throughout your day, right? Who's guilty of stress affecting their body? Okay. Okay, and here's the thing I always say. This is a hard thing to analyze personally, but everybody has stress, right? Nobody has like a picture-perfect life, okay? Maybe 3% of people. We hate that. But here's the thing. Like, a lot of times I'll talk to people, and they're like, oh, my God, my job's just so stressful. I'm like, well, are there other people that work with you that don't get as stressed as you do? And they're like, well, yeah. And I'm like, okay, so then it's a really hard question, but we have to ask ourselves, well, why are you internalizing it? Why are you not sleeping at night when everybody else in your job is like, who cares? Like, I work 8 to 5 and I leave. Now, that's not the best mentality, but again, it's a lot to do with how our body absorbs and manages that stress. And so we're going to work on properties and things like that. We all know that there's a lot of essential oils that can help maintain our mood management, right? Okay. Cheer, peace, all those are really great oils for stress reduction. So what is our GI system? GI, just in case you don't know, stands for gastrointestinal. Our digestive system is an extensive part of our body. It ranges all the way from your mouth all the way to your rectum, okay? And the digestive system is responsible for getting rid of waste and helps your body absorb essential nutrients, which is absolutely crucial, okay? Here's the thing, even if you ate all organic and never put pesticides in your body, if you've got digestive-related issues, your body can never absorb those at 100%. So we're always going to have cellular dehydration, cellular malabsorption, and literally every single organ, muscle, tissue, gland, hormone is just made up of a bunch of cells. So if our cells aren't functioning, guess what's happening to us? We're not functioning, okay? So our digestion is going to convert food into energy, which is crucial, and basic nutrients that feed your entire body. So what we need to understand, and you guys need to write down in your notes, is that your digestive system is literally the foundation for good health. I can tell our AC kicks off when we're not supposed to be in here. All right, and this is pretty common for most people. This is just kind of a picture of what is entailed with your digestive system. A lot of people don't really factor in things like your liver or your pancreas in your digestive system, and we're going to talk a lot about those today, how they're absolutely crucial. Okay, everybody got the organs? Okay, so the digestive system interacts with all other body systems. So this includes your nervous system, which, what does your nervous system control? Everything, right? Good answer. Your endocrine system, which helps produce hormones, okay? And we all love our hormones being in balance, right? Yeah. Just ask our husbands if you don't believe me. And then most importantly, our immune system. So digestion actually begins in your brain. So a lot of you guys that have gone through like the Happy Healthy program or have done a lot of positive protocols know that really there's a part in your brain called your hypothalamus that we have to retrain and reset in order for your body to know what proper weight management is, metabolic function, all of that good stuff, right? So when you eat, your brain decides how you'll digest that food, and it responds with stress or ease. Most of you guys, food is associated with stress, okay? And then what's going to happen is, depending on the health of your body's going to do what it needs to do with that, right? It's going to either slow down digestion, and so you're going to have prolonged inflammation, and it just takes time, right? Who's ate like a big meal, and you're like, just for hours later, you just feel like lethargic, you feel tired, right? Who's done the carbo bomb and you have like no energy 3 hours after that, right? Because when you eat a bunch of carbs, it takes so much longer for your body to process and digest those. And so again, now your body can't heal and repair and do anything else because it's focusing on doing what? Just breaking down those carbs, right? Okay. A cool trick, just so you guys know, I know this is a hard thing, but one of the simplest things is we know you guys are never going to not eat carbs, okay? That's just not realistic. But when you do eat carbs, and we're talking like breads and pastas, you really should never combine a carbohydrate with a protein, okay? It's double trouble on your digestive system to break down. But if you think about it, when you get pizza, you're going to add what? Meat. And if you have a sandwich, you're going to add meat, okay? So try and get in the habit of, if you are going to do those carbs, you're not adding a protein into it. You can add like a fat, so like maybe you want to do a sandwich, add like avocado to it or something like that. And a bunch of veggies. I know Marissa's really good about that. She's like, I just load up on veggies on my sandwich. You won't even notice it, okay? And there's other forms that you can get protein in, like in the form of more of like an avocado, but it's not going to be the same breakdown as like animal protein, okay? And then if you're going to do pizza, just load it up with a bunch of veggies, right? That's good anyways. One way you can get around that too, and Dr. Seth is the cook in our house, not me, that's for sure, is you can actually do a chicken crust pizza. So it's going to cook like a crust, but it's actually all based out of chicken. So then that gives you a little bit more flexibility. Now there's no grain in it. So if you wanted to add a few other things of protein, now you can have a protein pizza, but now you're not mixing carbohydrates with protein. Okay? So your digestive system is called your second brain. And has anybody heard some of the new research about type 3 diabetes? Dr. Seth, where'd you find that article? It was on the, what? USA Today. Okay. So basically, I want you guys, your homework tonight is to go home and Google and research type 3 diabetes. Okay? Never heard of it because it's a new thing. But what they're finding is that our diets are causing so many issues to our brain function that we've just got issues in our tissues, okay? Once you guys research it, come in, talk to me, and we're going to talk about how crazy our lifestyle influences all of the disease processes that are going on nowadays. But our digestive system is the second largest part of our neurological system, and it's called your enteric nervous system for that reason. And 80 to 90% of your immune system is located in your digestive tract. So those of you that have ever experienced like prolonged digestive issues or know people with digestive issues, basically everything takes a turn for the worse, because when you can't absorb nutrients and everything is relying upon this functioning, you can't sleep, you don't have energy. It's an awful roller coaster, okay? From somebody that's been there, I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy, okay? So, these are some of the digestive diseases that have diagnosis associated with them. So, we're talking things as severe as ulcerative colitis, Crohn's disease, irritable bowel syndrome, which is abbreviated IBS. Food sensitivities, this is a huge thing. I mean, food sensitivities did not occur like they do nowadays, like 10, 20, 30 years ago. I mean, it's insane. And I'm glad that kids are like, oh, I don't eat this, I don't eat that, because 90% of the time it's all crap. So I'm glad that they don't eat that. But I'm like, the fact that it makes them deathly ill or they break out in a rash, that's just like, that's insane. It means your immune system is so compromised that it can't handle that. Chronic constipation, diverticulitis, gallstones, and gallbladder dysfunction. My biggest pet peeve is you go to the hospital with any signs of gallbladder dysfunction. What do they do immediately? Take it out. Okay, you need your gallbladder to emulsify fats, and if you don't do that, talk to anybody that's had their gallbladder removed. It is now a horrific roller coaster ride of weight management, right? Okay, every organ is there for a reason. So we got to figure out why it's dysfunctioning and what we need to do to fix it versus just removing it, right? Acid reflux, that's a huge one. I know a lot of people minimize that, like, oh, it's just because I ate something spicy. You should be able to eat something spicy and not be having nasty acid reflux for the next 5 to 8 hours afterwards. Liver dysfunction and disease, pancreatitis, peptic ulcers, and then GERD. So those are just some to name a few. There's quite a few more, but those are the
difference between GERD and acid reflux?
It's the severity and then the symptomatology of it. They're pretty much a horse apiece, but it depends on what you go in and say to your doctor. Yeah. And some people actually have reflux where it's not just like the acid that comes up. They actually have like an esophagus reflux issue where they like regurgitate their food. That's pretty common. So, let's go over a few of these that are pretty common. So, chronic constipation, what's really not a good thing about that is your body needs to have bowel movements. Your body has bowel movements so that we can eliminate waste. Plain and simple, okay? And here's the thing, in case y'all didn't know, everybody poops, right? Okay, we're going to talk about poop today. So abdominal pain can occur as well as bloating when you have constipation. And the most common digestive issue is chronic constipation, okay? Do you guys know how many times on average when you're eating a normal caloric intake, you should be having a bowel movement? Yep, about 1 to 2 hours after you eat a big meal. If you're just eating a little snack, no. But we're talking when you're eating like a protein, a fruit, and a vegetable together, about 1 to 2 hours afterwards, you should have a bowel movement. Now, if we're doing like cleanses and stuff like that, all those things go out the window. Those are different, right? Because your body's detoxing, okay? But again, normal daily caloric intake, normal dietary aspects, 1 to 2 hours after, okay? And it shouldn't be painful. It should just be a normal process that happens. Food intolerances and sensitivities. By a show of hands, how many of y'all have this? Pretty much all of you guys, okay? And if you're not raising your hand, you just don't know what your body should feel like, because I promise you everybody's got food sensitivities with what our food looks like nowadays, okay? So this is different from an allergy, but sensitivities can include like bloating, diarrhea, cramps, headaches, heartburn, irritability, gas, vomiting. And I know that sounds like a lot of crazy symptoms, but the reality is some things that you need to pay attention to is if anybody's ever noticed, a lot of people have gluten sensitivity, okay? What that means is you shouldn't be eating the amount of grains that we consume as a society. A really common symptom that you'll notice is that your arm, on the back of your arms, has these little white bumps, okay? That is a sensitivity to gluten. If you or your kids just kind of sometimes break out in red rashes, that is a gluten sensitivity, okay? Their body is expelling toxins, and it is showing you in the form of your skin because what's your largest organ? So when you have a rash, you better be thinking like, oh my God, what the heck is going on? Because that's the only thing you can see, right? You can't see the inside, so if it's already manifested to your largest organ, fire alarm better be going off, figuring we better do some elimination dieting, right? Okay? So people that constantly and really I want you guys to pay attention to how you feel about 30 minutes to an hour after you eat certain foods, okay? It'll be very common if you have food sensitivities to certain things that you'll get really, really, really tired. So for me, I should not ever have gluten. I'm not perfect, but I do it. And every time I do it, within 30 minutes, I am like beyond exhausted, okay? Some people with dairy, they'll notice that they get a lot more mucusy next couple days, right, Jackie? We've talked about this. Y'all don't want to know what goes into traditional dairy, okay? We won't talk about that, right, Marissa? But when you ingest dairy, if you have a sensitivity, that what you're going to have is you're going to notice a lot more like mucus and discharge and things like that, stuffiness, a lot of sinus-related issues because your body is not used to processing. Okay, dairy should be in minimal amounts in your diet. And if you want things that are dairy-like, use things like almond milk and nut milks, and there's pea protein milk and all kinds of stuff that aren't going to cause those negative side effects because of how dairy, what it comes from. Okay, so GERD and heartburn, here you go, Gloria. I combined them together for you. Stomach acids reflux back into the esophagus. It can also be as severe as like a regurgitation of the food because the esophagus goes into a spasm. This can be very commonly associated with chest pain. A lot of times people think they're having like a minor heart attack, okay? And this is one of the most common prescription drugs prescribed to people is things like Prilosec OTC or all those things. And it just makes me laugh because if you watch the commercials and what they're eating, and then it's like, oh, thank goodness for this miracle drug. I'm like, maybe you shouldn't be stuffing your face with what's like in that commercial, right? Like there's a time and a place to have fun. But if you're having that on a regular basis, your body is just, it's giving you a warning sign that like, hey, I need a break, okay? IBS, this has a wide range of severity, but basically it's chronic swelling in your intestines, okay? And so if any of you guys have ever done like a nutritional change where you notice like a large reduction in swelling in your abdomen, it means you are prone to digestive inflammation, okay? I'm getting a look. Two types, Crohn's disease and ulcerative colitis. So again, a lot of symptoms related to your digestive system is that you're going to have fatigue. You're going to have incomplete or painful bowel movements, cramps, weight loss or loss of appetite, okay? And this isn't weight loss in a good way. Y'all know if you know somebody that's had digestive-related issues, they're losing weight because their body is not absorbing nutrients, and that's in the form of like an anorexic or bulimic type mentality where you're so underweight that you're not in a healthy state, right? Okay, it's different than being fit and healthy. Okay. All right, my favorite emoji. My niece just thinks this emoji is like the funniest thing. She's like, Aunt Lacey, I don't know why anybody thinks it's a big deal. Everybody poops. And I'm like, I know. So we're going to go over, and this is where you guys might want to take notes or take out your camera phones and take pictures. But really, like, do you understand what's coming out and what that means as far as assessing on a daily basis what's happening with your GI tract, okay? So texture, what it should be is what you see in the top middle, okay? It should be like smooth shaped with nothing else. Okay, what's really important that you need to know is when it's in little lumps, what we call like rabbit poop, okay, it means you're dehydrated and you're not drinking enough water, or you're drinking so much water but you're not absorbing it, right? Who's had their cell absorption rate checked? Okay, so we want to make sure that we're absorbing the water so that, again, it cleanses our GI tract, okay? One that you'll notice too is that if it's soft, and what I like that it says is it like sticks to the side of the toilet bowl, it means you have a presence of too much oil. And we're not talking good oils like coconut oil or olive oil. We're talking about like trans fat oils, okay? Diarrhea, that's pretty normal, especially if you're doing a detox cleansing. It's not necessarily a mode to freak out with. And sometimes your body needs to expel toxins, and that's how we're going to do it, okay? It's just an issue if that's your bowel movements all day, every day, right? Everybody good with this? Okay. Shades. This is important, okay? What color should it be? Okay, like a lighter brown, okay? A darker brown or black, you could be intaking charcoal, which could be one of your supplements, which that's normal sometimes. But if it's ever red, it's not a good thing, okay? Bright red is going to be something that's more okay because it's probably something that's external, and it's going to be more like out closer towards your rectum. So more like hemorrhoids or something like that. If it's like a dark, deep red blood, you need to go to the emergency room. That means there's bleeding inside of your intestines. You guys get the difference of that? Okay. Yellow means you ate greasy, foul food. Okay? So it shouldn't be yellow. Sometimes, like with kids, right, Shreen? Change your diapers and they intake, especially when nursing, what you're intaking. Okay? So I always tell my mommies too, pay attention to your kids' bowel movements. Okay? And then green. So it can be green sometimes too because of your liver and your bile and your pancreas. But it shouldn't be green for longer than like a day. Okay? So what's the color we all want to aim for?
Brown.
Perfect. Okay? Unless you're detoxing. And then again, all rules don't apply because you're just expelling junk. Okay. So how do we improve all those issues? And that's the most important part where we talk about it's important to have awareness, but then most importantly, we need to have action steps and things to fix it. So first thing obviously is nutrition. Okay, it's as simple as this. We need to move in a positive direction where we eliminate processed foods. Okay, and I know it's not easy to prepare everything fresh. I get that. That's not what we're asking. But if you're eating everything that comes out of a box, there's a problem. Okay. It's real simple to grab vegetables even on the go. Like when we are out of town and stuff, we always just make it. You got to change your mindset and your lifestyle. Wherever we go, we find the nearest Whole Foods, grocery store, whatever, and we go in and we grab a few things. Trust me, we don't eat perfect when we go on vacation. Nobody's asking you to do that. You're going to go have fun meals, but then try and make at least one good meal in the day, like a good meal. Like you're going to get lots of fiber, you're going to cleanse, and we'll talk about some aids that you can use. But try and eliminate processed foods as much as possible. Here's the cool thing, too, I teach people, kind of like that 80-20 rule. Try and be on top of your nutrition as much as you can when you have complete control over it. So then that way when you go out of town, or you're on vacation, or you just have a hellacious day where you're like, I'm not eating a salad today, I want to have a bottle of wine and pizza. Your body can adapt to it because it's not its normal routine, right? Okay? Does anybody ever have those days where you just want to, yeah, okay. So it's not just me. Eliminate and reduce sugar. I'm going to pick on Bryce for just a second because I love Bryce. But I go into Starbucks, and Marissa used to work at Starbucks, and the sugary drinks that people drink blows my mind. It's 8 o'clock in the morning, and they've just consumed a drink that has like 1,000 calories, and 90% of that is from sugar, right? Okay, Bryce is as skinny as a freaking twig pole, so it's fine. And he doesn't do that all the time. I know Kim doesn't give him that. But again, really reducing that, okay? So if you're going to do that, we're going to talk about short feeding windows. Maybe have that in your feeding window. It's a better option. The best option is don't have it, okay? And everybody hated Starbucks for that unicorn frappuccino or whatever the heck it was, but I'm like, they're making it because people are buying it. So it's just educate people that that's not the best choice. If a kid was like, hey, that's what I really want, and they saved up their cheat day for that, okay, there are better things you could eat, but whatever. Reducing and eliminating complex carbohydrates. So, for me, I was a big sandwich person, especially because it was just such an easy thing to do in college and stuff like that. But there's really easy alternatives to that. Grab like lettuce and like wrap your salad or wrap your like lunch meat in a lettuce wrap and kind of eat it like a sandwich, or do little sandwich roll-ups. Pastas. There's really cool things if you guys haven't seen these at the grocery store, and they are Seth, what are they called? No, the oodles. What are they? There's that. There's kelp noodles, and then there's a type of noodle, he's going to look it up right now, that literally has 0 calories, and it's just plant fiber. Okay, they're called oodles. Miracle noodle. Okay.
Miracle noodle?
I always hate telling you guys this because then I go to the grocery store and there are none for me to buy. But they sell them in all different types. So they have like a fettuccine. They have like one that I call like a rice noodle. And so if you're wanting that like filling type pasta, it's going to be 0 calories. Use that and then make a bomb sauce that's got like meat and all that stuff. And now we're not mixing carbohydrates and protein. So now you can make a pasta, right? And you're not going to feel like something just hit your gut and you're having to expel it the next 3 to 4 days. Okay?
What's it made of? You said plant protein. It's not brown rice.
Nope, it's not brown. There's like 0 carbohydrate. There's nothing in it. It's a Japanese root, I'm hearing from the peanut gallery.
How does that compare with brown rice noodles?
Totally different. It's not. You'll see when you see them in a package.
But I mean, like, do you recommend the brown rice noodle?
I would do the oodles. Now that those exist, I would not do brown rice. You're either gonna have a gut bomb and do regular pasta, or you're gonna do oodles.
Noodles?
I call them oodles. They're miracle noodles
Oh, they are.
because they're not really noodles.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are they hard to find?
No, we find they have them at the Nugget. They at Sprouts, Whole Foods, Nugget. Not at Sprouts. They're in the refrigerator section. Yeah. Yeah. And they kind of smell stinky when you open them, but you just gotta rinse them. And then as soon as you rinse them and then cook them, it takes like I don't know. It takes like 5 minutes, I think, to cook. Am I right? About 5 minutes to cook. Okay, that's pretty fast. So even with kids, if they want like a macaroni and cheese, we've made this. You can do like fresh, like raw cheese or organic cheese and grate it over the oodles, and it's healthy mac and cheese with no carbohydrates. So you just gotta get creative. You can also order them on Amazon. So, eating clean protein. This is really important, especially when it comes to like chickens and beefs and things like that. What you'll notice as you make that switch is when you eat grain-fed beef, when you have gas, the smell is going to be way different than when you're eating like clean, grass-fed, no hormones, no antibiotics. Okay. A lot of times, many of you guys don't have the digestive enzymes to break down red meat. And then when you throw in grain-fed and things that have way more hormones and inflammatory markers, on top of that, you're going to have major issues digesting, okay? And then, again, we want to reduce toxins as much as possible. You don't have to buy organic everything. You really don't. We don't buy organic everything, okay? But rule of thumb when you're eating like a protein or a fruit or a vegetable is if you're going to eat the skin, it should be organic. If it's something like an avocado, it does not need to be organic. They're like $2 more. It's not necessary, okay? There's a few things that rule doesn't really apply to, like a banana, but for the most part, if you're going to be eating it like an apple, it should be organic, right? If you can't do organic, which the price difference really isn't that much, what you need to do is soak your produce and your vegetables in a sink full of vinegar and then a few drops of lemon oil. And it will cleanse a lot of the pesticides and herbicides out. You'll see them float to the top of the sink. It's disgusting. And then you feel bad just rinsing it down your drain. But just do what you can. I know like the farmer's market. Who goes to the farmer's markets? Okay, you can get really affordable produce for organic prices. And you'll have more than you even know what to do with.
What is it? You soak it in the lemon?
Like vinegar and then a few drops of lemon essential oil.
Does it matter what kind of vinegar, white or?
White wine vinegar. Or distilled white vinegar is probably the best, most cost effective. I mean, you could soak it in apple cider vinegar, but that's an expensive detox. You would have just saved money just buying organic. Okay, so speaking of apple cider vinegar, who does their apple cider vinegar religiously every day? Yay! We have a jar here, and it's a community apple cider vinegar, and we just take slugs of it throughout the day. But unfiltered apple cider vinegar is so important for cleansing your liver and your lymphatic system, okay? When your liver and your lymphatic system get congested, we just have issues in the tissues, and it causes a plethora of symptoms. It's going to aid your body in detoxing. It's going to make your skin look awesome, which is good. But it helps balance your body's pH. So your body's pH should be more around 7.3 to 7.5, okay? If you've never tested your body's pH, it's really easy to do. You go get some pH strips at a nutritional store. Test it in your mouth first thing in the morning before you brush your teeth. And if you're acidic, we've got work to do, okay? But this is going to stimulate cardiovascular stimulation, bowel motility, and lymphatic drainage. So when you drink apple cider vinegar, you're not going to have constipation issues, I promise you, okay? It's pretty strong tasting, right? Okay, so my favorite thing to do with apple cider vinegar is to put it in a glass bottle of water and put like about a tablespoon in a bottle of water. And I like to add 2 to 3 drops of lemon essential oil. It's way better than squeezed lemon. And drink that throughout the day. It's a little bit more pleasurable, okay? A little bit more, okay? Still not perfect. But what that's going to do with the lemon essential oil, which we'll talk about, those two things in combination and then slowly drinking throughout the day, it's constantly stoking your metabolism and detoxing your body, okay?
How many bottles a day?
I do probably just 1 bottle a day is what I do. Probably like that, tea jar.
What
I
did
don't do
you-
it every day, but I try to.
What did you say our pH should be? 7.3?
7.3 to 7.5. Most people's, when you guys check your pH, is going to be about 6.25, 6.5.
But this is the optimum.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Who does their trace minerals every day? Yeah. Okay. Trace minerals. You can get them in two forms. There's a bottle called Concentrace, which is now no longer my favorite thing because after doing some research, it doesn't have the highest quantity of certain minerals that we want. But trace minerals in the form of pink salt, and we all know pink salt is not created equally, right? Okay, so like the Costco, no knock on Costco, but the Costco Himalayan pink salt, Marissa and Katrina, when you meet with patients, does that work like the pink salt we recommend here? Not even close, okay? So, through Premier, and I know I opened a can of worms because I told you all last workshop that we are sourcing a new salt, which we are, it's just taking time. The current salt that we source, though, we make sure that it's completely raw and it's sun and solar dried, meaning it doesn't get heated up. If it gets heated up, it loses pretty much a large majority of its nutritional content, which defeats the purpose. And now you're just doing a sodium bomb, which is going to cause issues. Because true trace minerals, like pink salt, is actually going to help your blood pressure. In fact, there's just an article that got published that talks all about with the head nephrologist about how important proper pink salt is for balancing your blood pressure and helping kidney health, okay? What this is going to do is it's a natural laxative. It's going to replenish your body with essential trace nutrients and aid in the digestion of food, and it stimulates peristalsis. Peristalsis is basically your body's ability to move waste through your colon, okay? How much of this should you take every day? 2 to 4 teaspoons a day, okay? That's pretty difficult to get if you're just sprinkling it on your food, okay? Do you guys have a veggie cap that I can show them? I think we gave Dr. Haley a lot of ours. Dr. Seth, do you have a veggie cap in your pocket?
Where do you get that?
We sell this here. We have 2 bottles right now. There's a huge shipment coming in, so we probably will have another 100 bottles here in the next couple days. Thank you.
I saw them in Sprouts.
Not this brand.
Oh.
This brand you cannot get unless you get it through a provider. So
What's the difference?
it's raw, solar dried. The way that we source it, they only source it to healthcare
The
providers.
gel caps?
Oh, you're talking about these?
Yeah.
Oh, she was asking about the salt.
No.
Oh, yeah.
I was talking about
Yeah, the gel caps, yeah. Okay, so these are called veggie caps, and if you guys can see it, it's kind of hard to see through. But what it is it's a vegetable glycerin that they make into an empty vitamin capsule. And you should have these for all kinds of things in your house. But the easiest thing to do is open these up and fill them with salt. Close it back together, and now you have a salt pill, okay? If you get size 00, so make sure you guys write that down, size 00, so 00 is what the bottle's going to look like. Marcy, can you grab, we have a few bags of those actually. If you fill these with salt, about 10 of them is going to be, is it 2 teaspoons, Seth? 10 of these is 2 teaspoons, right? Okay, so 10 of these is 2 teaspoons, so 5 is a teaspoon, okay? If you make them in these capsules, oh yeah, perfect. We have these here. These are $5 for 100. If you make these into salt capsules, what you cannot do is you cannot say, perfect, I need to get my 20 done for the day. Let me pop them all in my mouth. Stacy, what happens when you do that? You don't feel very good, and you're going to be running to the bathroom, and we're going to have digestion in the other form, okay? So when you make these, what I tell everybody to do is put them in your pocket and slowly take about 1 an hour, okay? Use liquids. Try and do them. Gabriel, stay in here, bud. Try and do them with food if you can. And then also if you're out to eat, so that it doesn't look like you're pouring your shaker jar like my husband does and it's so embarrassing, you can just pop open one of your veggie caps and sprinkle it on your food, and now you have healthy salt, right? Okay? Way less embarrassing to do this than bring your salt bottle and shake it around. Okay, everybody good on how to do your trace minerals? The other thing you can use these veggie caps for is to put your essential oils in and put them in your mouth. Who uses veggie caps for their essential oils? Okay, it's a pretty easy way to do it. Okay, one of the other things that you can do that is super amazing for your digestive system is fasting. Okay, who here fasts? Everybody's hand should be up because I like preach on you guys to fast. Okay, The reason why fasting is important is it has nothing to do with your weight. Nothing, okay? Fasting gives your body more time to digest. So, typical standard American diet, they're literally just, you're stuffing your face with food all day long. I don't care if it's healthy, you're stuffing your face full of food. So what happens is you eat, your body has to process and digest it before it's even done doing that, because on average it can take anywhere from 2 to 5 hours to digest your food, depending on what you're eating. Most people by that time are already eating another meal, right? So now you've got a whole nother meal that your body's trying to process and digest, and it hasn't even finished the first meal. And then you do a whole nother one. And then you do another one, and then you do another one. Because on average, most people eat 5 decent-sized meals a day, and your body never gets time to heal and repair, which is why people go to bed feeling icky, right? There's kids in the room, so I won't say what we really feel like. And then again, your body's supposed to heal at nighttime, and it can't do that because now it has to focus all of its attention to your digestive tract, okay? So, intermittent fasting, what it's going to do is it's going to reduce inflammation in the digestive tract. It increases your efficiency of nutrient absorption. That's crucial. And it also helps you become a fat burner, okay? So your body burns either one of two things for fuel. It burns fat or it burns sugar, okay? So if you want to not be a sugar burner, again, it has nothing to do with your size, you need to be fasting, okay? Fasting actually increases human growth hormones, so if you're skinny and you want to look better defined, you should be fasting, okay? It improves hormone sensitivity, so again, it helps to regulate those. If you're somebody, I'm going to pick on Stacy for a second, she's obviously in a healthy weight range. This girl couldn't wake up and not eat within 30 minutes of waking up because her blood sugar would crash. She's like, don't be around me, okay? That's not normal. Okay, you should be able to eat within about a 6 to 8 hour feeding window and fast the other 18 hours of the day. Okay, so what that looks like, utilize your sleeping time to fast, right? That's easy. So on average, skip breakfast and have your first meal be around 12 o'clock. Those of you that do that on a consistent basis, notice you can get away with a whole lot more if you have vacation meals, right? Because again, your body has an increased efficiency of nutrient absorption, and it's going to have ample amounts of time to process and break that down, okay? If you don't fast yet, start by waiting to have breakfast till 9, and then 10. And then what essential oil helps you guys regulate blood sugar as you're cranky when you're fasting? Does anybody know? Cinnamon oil, Stacy's favorite, okay? So if you are getting into that fasting routine and you're having major headaches and you're like, oh my gosh, all you need to do is put a drop of cinnamon underneath your tongue, and it will help regulate blood sugar, and you'll be able to fast all day long. It is hot, okay? So if you're a baby, and I'm just kidding, you can put a drop of cinnamon in a VeggieCat and then take it. Or you can put it in a cup of tea or a cup of coffee and drink it, okay? How often should you intermittent fast? As often as possible, okay? At least 5 of 7 days.
How much cinnamon oil do you use?
1 to 2 drops.
A day?
I don't anymore. Your blood sugar, you shouldn't need to use cinnamon oil, but it's an aid when you are bridging that process. Yeah. So
Just
1 to 2.
1 to 2 drops a day.
That's all you need.
You can put it like in coffee.
Yeah. Okay, so your spine, your nervous system controls and regulates every organ, muscle, tissue, gland, and cell. So in order for those to function, you have to have 100% communication from your brain to those organs. So when we're talking about your digestive tract, do you think that if there's issues with spinal alignment in your low back, that you're going to not allow your organs to work like they should? And the answer is, oh, yes. You better believe it. Sometimes after people's first adjustment, they're running to the bathroom, right? Because there is actually nerve flow to those organs that have been basically no communication to. So here's a perfect example. A lot of people have this spinal-related posture issue. What you're looking at is this side view of your low back, okay? What a lot of people have, because we have a forward head posture generation, what happens is your head goes forward. What happens to your mid-back? It curves. And then guess what? This upper portion of your low back is going to have to compensate, right? And so green's where you should be, red's where you're at. Do you see how that upper portion of the low back is translating backwards? What that's doing is it's literally putting pressure on the spinal cord and compressing all of the nerves that feed life and energy to what organs? Digestive system. Yep. Liver, pancreas, colon, you name it. And so again, even if this person ate all organic, their body's not going to be able to absorb everything like it's supposed to because the brain literally cannot communicate at 100%, okay? Which is why you'll see a lot of patients, they're working on the rehab, they're putting a block underneath their pelvis because, again, we're putting your body in the direction of correction so we can take pressure off that spinal cord area. Does that make sense to everybody? Okay? Which is why it's really, really important that we always fix your posture because your posture is the window to your spine, okay? Spinal warm-ups. Shayna's sitting on one right now because she threw her back out, and what did she do? She called me, right? She's like, I'm not going to the emergency room. Took a few people to get a hold of me, but we figured it out, right? So your spinal warm-ups are really, really important, especially when we talk about your digestive system, which is why I love these being in kids' classrooms. If you need a note to get this in your kids' classroom, it's like so ridiculously easy, it's not even funny. Or at work, what you do when you wobble, because I know some of you guys just do it because I tell you to do it, right? Or Stacy does. But what wobbling does is it increases the disc hydration in your low back specifically, okay? If we increase the disc hydration, that means there's going to be less compression on the disc, which means there's less compression on the nerves, which means your brain can communicate to those organs, muscles, tissues, and glands, right? Okay? So when we do that, everything's going to be working and functioning a whole lot better. The other thing it does is it's going to force you to sit in a posture that's appropriate, which is going to send neurological firing up to your brain, which again is why adults and kids should be sitting on these all day, every day, because who doesn't need their brain to work better, right? Everybody good on these? These are so easy to implement, like literally everywhere. I'm like, if you're like, I always use mine at home, buy another one. They're like $30 and stick it at your work. Because if you're sitting at work and you don't have a sit stand, or even if you have a sit stand station, you should be wobbling on this as much as possible, okay? Shayna, how much better does wobbling make your back feel? Okay, so we're going to talk about a few essential oils that help with digestive-related health, and I'm going to pass these around. So hopefully everybody can get them. If not, they'll be up at the front so you guys can smell them. Okay, digestin is my favorite oil. This is like seriously an amazing blend of essential oils that it's not a placebo effect. If you put it on your tummy, within seconds it starts working, okay? So it's going to smooth stomach discomfort, bloating, gas. It's going to help support. So if you're somebody that has chronic digestive issues, you need to be using this on a daily basis. For some people, you just need to have this in your medicine cabinet or your vitamin cabinet so that when you do have an issue like food poisoning or diarrhea or anything like that, you can just rub a drop or two on your tummy, okay? Who's ever got food poisoning and busted out your digestion, and we're so thankful that it was there, right? Oh.
This is always external, not
You can
internal.
internally ingest digestin. Yep. So one of the many reasons digestin is great is because it's got a blend of tarragon, caraway seed, and anise. With a few other oils that are in there, that combination of oils is just really going to help your digestive system no matter who you are, okay? We even use it on teeny tiny babies. If you hate the taste and you're lazy or you just need efficiency, okay, you can buy the digestin pre-made in soft gel capsules so that you can just internally take it. Take 2 every day, easy peasy. I personally like the oil because it gives me a little bit more versatility. I can rub it on topically, I can diffuse it, I can put it in a veggie cap. I'm always one that I like an oil that I can do multiple things with. Versus this, the only way you can use it is what? Internally. Yeah, okay? So, fennel. Who's used fennel before? Okay? Fennel is great for many things. Increases breast milk supply, in case y'all wanted to know. But fennel is really great, especially if you're somebody that always has a lot of bloating. A drop or 2 of fennel, it's kind of funny. I'm like, take a before picture, rub it on, and like 2 minutes later, you're going to be like, oh my God, it looks like I lost 10 pounds. It's a good one, too, that you can just rub on your tummy. You can rub it over your liver, okay? This also, if you've got a nasty sweet tooth, a drop of fennel in your mouth will get rid of that sweet tooth in about 0.3 seconds. Some people have a little bit of skin sensitivity with this oil if they put it on their tummy, so just know that if you have sensitive skin, maybe put some lotion on first and then put the fennel oil on over the top. Okay, The other oils that are great for digestion, ginger is a hot oil, okay? Ginger is going to be more for people that have like a lot of nausea associated with digestion. It smells amazing, but again, that's not an oil you'd also want to just put directly on your skin. Peppermint is an amazing oil because just a drop of peppermint, and for those of you that want to try this, just a drop of peppermint in your mouth, within about 35 seconds, your digestive system starts calming down, okay? Peppermint's good for a lot of other things, but we're talking about digestive. I talked about lemon oil. I like to put this in some water first thing in the morning. This is way more powerful than just straight lemon juice. But lemon helps to cleanse your liver and your kidneys on a daily basis, and it detoxifies your blood. They all smell good. And then Zenocrin. This is a heavy hitter oil, okay? This is not for everybody, but Zenocrin is a great oil. You cannot use Zenocrin if you're breastfeeding, okay? Zenocrin you would rub over your liver, okay? And it is a great detoxification oil. So if you're somebody that you know, you're like, man, I just feel toxic, Zenocrin is your best friend, okay? I love Zenocrin. This is an every night oil, just as a preventative measure right over my liver. It's great.
You said you're going to email us this too?
Okay, probiotics. Who's heard of probiotics? Okay. Here's the reality. If you are eating a perfect diet, you should not need probiotics. The reality is, who can honestly say that they eat a perfect diet all day, every day? No way, okay? So, the probiotic that I like to use when I need one is I like doTERRA's probiotic, and the only reason why is because you've got probiotics with essential oils, so it's a double whammy, okay? So, when you take probiotics, it's going to help support your digestion. It's going to relieve, Gabriel, shh. It's going to relieve acute allergies, chronic GI issues, and then suppressed immunities, okay? So, when you take these, it's going to increase intestinal microflora. If you have taken large amounts of antibiotics over the course of years, you should be on a probiotic protocol, okay? Antibiotics kill your digestive system, which in turn kills your immune system, okay? Probiotics, again, after you take a good source, and not all probiotics are created equal, let me tell you that, okay? They do not have to be refrigerated. That used to be something that I was taught, and I taught people, is that if it's good, it has to be refrigerated. That's not true, okay? Yeah, it's not true. Okay, in fact, Thorne's probiotic is one of the best probiotics I've ever seen, and it is not refrigerated. Okay, and they actually do testing on theirs. If you're not a pill taker, these are some of the coolest things ever. Has anybody tried these? Kim's like, yeah, they're so good.
My kids love them.
If you guys want to try them, we have them share like one because it's a lot. But what they are is they're probiotics in like a pixie stick. Okay, it's not really pixie stick because y'all know I would not promote sugar. Okay, these are the child version of the probiotics through doTERRA, or the adult
Have that
version.
on our diet?
No, you probably could, but we're gonna say no just to be safe. What it has is it has erythritol, so it's a sugar alternative that's not an artificial sugar. It tastes like watermelon. It's really good. You just put it in the mouth, and it's gonna absorb just like a pixie stick. Okay. So if you guys want to try these, just cut open, or the girls can cut them open, and you guys can pour a little in your mouth. It tastes so good. They're really easy. When you travel, because who travels in your stomach just isn't what it should be, right? Okay. These are so easy to take because you can just throw them in your purse or your backpack. Like when I went to Guatemala, like the people, obviously I went with doTERRA, so we were stocked with anything and everything we could possibly need. But everybody had like 3 boxes of PB Assist because, you know, when you're going to a foreign country especially, your digestive system. And these were just like a game changer. So these are really easy to take and use. They taste delicious. Every kid loves them. So you can get probiotics into your kids. Because a lot of kids, they don't know what foods trigger constipation, but a lot of kids do have a lot of issues with digestive related issues. And so doing a probiotic is really easy for them, except for a probiotic and a pill for most kids is like next to impossible.
And one pack of those is
Is
good
all
for
you
an
need.
adult.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's just easy. I like taking this over a probiotic pill. Tastes like candy. Okay, so the importance of probiotics are bacteria that line your digestive tract and support your body's ability to absorb nutrients and fight infection. And there's actually 10 times more probiotics in your gut than cells in your body. Okay? So important. Okay? Which is why if you ever have to take an antibiotic, I would prefer you use Melaleuca or oregano oil because it works way better anyways. But if you do have to take an antibiotic, you absolutely have to follow it up with a probiotic protocol on the back end because that's what antibiotics do. Okay? Other things in your diet that can naturally reduce your probiotic levels are prescription antibiotics, sugar, tap water, GMO foods, grains, emotional stress, which is why when you stress, it's always your tummy, chemicals and medications. Okay, so here's the thing, most of these things you should be staying away from anyway, so as long as we're trying to go down a healthier lifestyle, we're going to be avoiding a lot of these anyways. If you're somebody that, like I said, when you notice that you eat certain things, your gas has certain odors, you need digestive enzymes, okay? Digestive enzymes, again, not all digestive enzymes are created equal. Again, I like Terrazyme because it's combined with essential oils and digestive enzymes, so it's a double whammy versus having to take oils, digestive enzymes, then you're taking 100 things, and it's just too much work, okay? They don't really taste like anything. They're pretty easy. This is also something that I like to have. I don't use these on a daily basis, but I put these in a little Ziploc baggie when I travel because when we travel, you can't guarantee what oils they're going to cook with and just all that stuff. So I have a little Ziploc baggie, and every time we go out to eat, I take some Terrazymes with me, and easy peasy, digest food a whole lot better, okay? Some of you need to be doing a digestive enzyme if you're eating red meat. You'll know exactly what I'm talking about, okay? And these are really easy. They don't have to be an everyday thing. You can just do them when you eat certain foods. It's not a license to eat whatever the heck you want, but if you are eating probably a junk meal, you probably should implement this, okay? One of my people I follow, she's like, oh, I eat whatever I want, and I just take Terrazyme. I'm like, no, that defeats the purpose. So we talked about Xenocrine being a really great detoxification oil. It's a blend of multiple oils. Some people can't really tolerate the smell of it because it's intense. So if you can't, it's really easy, and I'll pass this around. You guys can see. They're gel caps, and it's really easy. So people that have a person that would need to do this oil is somebody that has liver issues or like pancreas issues. So liver issues, how you know you have a liver problem is if you are really quick to anger, you have a lot of skin sensitivity, okay, or you've got that belly fat. Those are all liver-related issues, okay?
This is for liver-related issues?
Yes. Okay, action steps. Get whatever your products you need to be more efficient. Like I said, we have 2 bottles of the salt here. More is coming in. We'll find out where that's probably going to get delivered as soon as we are done with the class. So the 6:30 class will get it. If you need any of the vitamins or supplements through doTERRA, if you have an account, great. Have us help you. If you don't, we'll help you set that up. That's really easy. If you need to smell some of the oils or try them, we'll put them all up at the front desk. Amanda, can you make sure those are all up there? Oh, perfect. Okay. And then if you guys have any questions, oil specifically related, this is the email. Otherwise, you guys can email the chiropractic office or the Happy Healthy Clinic. Whatever works best for you, and we will get you responses, okay? Because you'll have a lot of questions as you're revisiting these notes and things like that. I will try and do my best to get this uploaded and emailed out, so do my best. And then make sure you guys get registered for anti-aging. This is not just about how we look, okay? Let me preface this workshop. This is about how we make sure that our body ages gracefully internally so that we live a long, healthy life. Right, Gloria, we were talking like we want to live to 125 in perfect health, not to 125 sick, suffering, miserable, and on 80 medications, okay? So that's what anti-aging is. It's just kind of funny to put a picture of skin-related, but we're talking about your whole self, okay? Does anybody have any questions that I didn't go over that you want answered? Ask me afterwards, too.